Well, North Carolina has become a very critical battleground state. So how will this racial unrest in Charlotte and really racial policies across the country impact this election cycle? Right now, 85% of the black vote is going for Hillary Clinton, according to polls. 58% of whites support Donald Trump. Obviously, there's a lot of division, and it's growing in this country, particularly in cities across this nation. So here to discuss, Carl Higbie and Tamara Holder. And, you know, Tamara, here's the thing. It's all of a sudden, this is just like, wow, here it is. It's in our face. But we've seen things from Ferguson and Baltimore and others. But this one, I think, is a little surprising in the sense that Charlotte isn't Chicago. You know, it's not Ferguson. It's a boom town. What's happening here?
Well, I think that there are a lot of things. I think that we've seen the moral fabric of our society as a whole not collapse, but slowly start to fall apart. Why? We have had loss of homes. We've had loss of education. We've had loss of family values. All of the things that are the issues of the left and the right are issues of the American people. And I think that in order to fix this, we have to come together and we have to say, we're neighbors. We're friends. We live next to each other. When your house is on fire, my house suffers from smoke damage.
But those things that you're talking about, on the right, they would say those are the consequences of the left. The left has not only created this, but
and I can blame Bush for
particularly the racial part of it.
Right, and I can blame Bush. I can blame Bush, and I can do all those things. We need to get past the blame. Until we get past the blame of the past and whose fault it is, black on black crime, Bush, Obama, whatever the heck you want to blame, how do we come together as Americans and how do we resolve this? It is not one thing. It is not just not respecting authority. It is not just education. It is all of these issues and saying we're going to fix it.
Right. But, Carl, Donald Trump, your candidate, has been talking about unity.
Yeah, he has.
And he has been talking about family values and rebuilding those things that Tamara admits are fractured or broken.
Right. And first of all, this is one of the first times I've ever actually agreed with Tamara on anything. But the fact of the matter
okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Make sure.
No, but the fact of the matter is Donald Trump has been preaching unity, and he's been preaching bring everybody up to the same level, whereas you have Hillary Clinton preaching bring everybody down to the same level. So it's a very stark difference between the two candidates. And I think once people see that, I mean, people right now are scared in these neighborhoods. They don't want to go outside at night because they're worried about their stores getting vandalized, them getting hurt. And
what neighborhoods, though, Carl? Because let me tell you something.
Carolina.
Working with somebody who's worked in the inner city for a decade, people have been afraid to come out of their homes for their entire lifetime. Right. They live in a war zone, and we've got to fix the war zone in our country.
It's never been to the magnitude it was in North Carolina last night. I mean, that was a severe attack on the city itself and its own occupants. So these people are attacking their own local economy, and we need somebody like Donald Trump, who is the law and order candidate, to put a stop to this stuff.
Is there something special that should be done or communicated to, in your mind, to the black community specifically when it comes to this, or do you see some sort of blanket solution?
I don't see a blanket solution, but I do see that one of the reasons why the African-American community is so upset with whites is because most of the time, in a lot of the inner city, all they see are each other. The only time they see a white person is when it's a white cop that's coming in there, and it's usually not for anything good in their hearts. And so we have to fix community relations. We have to fix police relations. We have to make sure that our kids are getting an education. And if we can't afford books, we can at least afford to send them to the museum and give them an experience to write about.
Well, we also have to fix the perception that these people view as cops. Like, look,
but they're not these people. They're Americans, Carl. They're not these people
in the neighborhoods that are afraid to see cops. I'm not talking about race. I'm talking about the people in the neighborhoods that are afraid to see cops. Right now, people are afraid to see cops because guess what? Every time they see a cop, it's because they're doing something wrong.
This is the most insane thing I've ever heard. People are afraid to see cops because they're doing something wrong.
Why don't they like cops? Because every time they interact with a police officer, it's because the police officer has been called to these neighborhoods.
Well, some of them believe the police are heavy-handed.
Which occasionally they are.
And a lot of the times, let me tell you something, in the inner city and in public housing projects, the police are in there patrolling. And I understand there's a public safety issue, but they're patrolling, and a lot of the times they are looking for things that they shouldn't be looking for because we have constitutional rights. They're knocking down doors when we all have rights to have a secure home without a warrant, and the list goes on and on.
Let's leave it there. Thank you both very, very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.